Welcome back to Murder Therapy with Doll Talk and Cousin Ashley.
And I'm Cousin Ashley. We've
Yeah, in
established
case you
this.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I'm Doll Talk. Well, my
Are
real
you?
name's Jody. I am. My real name's Jody. I wonder what Mom would say if I told her I was going to go legally change my name to Doll Talk.
I can honestly say you're probably the only person with that name.
You think
Legally.
so?
Legally. Yes.
Legally with the name Doll Talk?
Yes.
Yeah. You know what's funny is Doll Talk has evolved so
Oh.
freaking much. I know. Well, if you would have told me, I say this all the time, like 3 or 4 years ago when I started this, that it would be what it is now, I would have laughed and been like, no, no, it wouldn't
Yay.
have. And I'm grateful. So, me and Nathan are in the works of starting our store, the Dollhouse.
Have
So
you
when we
told
went to
anybody?
the,
Is this a drop?
uh, is this a drop? Well,
Is this an
people
inside
know on
scoop?
my platform, they don't know all the nitty gritty details of it. They
I
know that
know.
merch is coming. She does. And but I have to start this online before I can completely get it into fruition. So people already know that the dollhouse is coming. It is in the works. There's a lot more to it other than what they know. You know, but they don't know.
You know why I
And they're
know? It was because all those packages that came to my house we told you guys about. That's how I know.
well, that's part of it. But anywho,
She's making
so
shit happen.
when me and the boys and like mom and everybody, we were going to the beach, and here we're pulling in, and you know when you get to Myrtle, you start seeing like the big billboards, like Ripley's Aquarium and all that, right?
Everywhere.
So there was a billboard for the dollhouse, and Colin goes, "Mom, did you open your store down here in Myrtle Beach?" And I said, "That's not the same dollhouse, Colin." I was like, "It's a different type of dollhouse." Okay. I'm sure that those women do look like porcelain dolls, if you get what I'm putting down. But that's not mommy's dollhouse, okay? That's not mom's dollhouse. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
Lord. Yeah, she's not opening up that
so
kind of
yeah.
dollhouse, you guys.
No, no,
No.
no. My dollhouse is completely different. So yeah. But anywho, welcome everybody. Um, things have been a little chaotic.
Crazy.
As you all know, we're parents. I just got a promotion at my job, so I'm in the
Yay.
midst of transitioning
And training.
over into my new role. So I'm wearing double hats until we get our new lady trained, and it's been really chaotic. So I'm sorry I left you guys hanging last week, but yeah,
It was all her fault.
it was my
I'm,
fault.
I'm
It
just kidding.
totally was.
She was like, we're not recording. I'm not ready. She's like, my notes are everywhere. I was like, oh, good.
And she goes, "Oh, good, good, yes, yeah." I was like, I am not prepared, and I was not. It last week was not a fun time. This week has not been a fun time, but I have a good one. I have a really good one.
I'm so excited.
I am.
Are you guys shocked I don't know anything about it?
She doesn't. She knows nothing about it, and it's fantastic because
I do see it's an
we are.
older gentleman.
It is. He's an asshole.
Oh.
Everyone we cover is an asshole, obviously. But we're traveling to my neck of the woods.
Woo! The holler.
Yes, we're literally, like, I'm not kidding. We are in my region. This happened in my area in the 80s.
Fun. Let's
Mm-hmm.
go.
I know. I know. I'm super excited. So,
Take me
we're
to the
covering,
river.
obviously, Stephan Epperly, but before we get into him, I want to say something. If you have never read Under the Trestle, which is where a good portion of this information comes from, I encourage you to read it. People in Virginia know this case. If you live here in my town, you know this case. You bring up Gina Hall, it's very well talked about.
Okay.
Nationwide, people don't really know about it. But I don't want to say what I want to say yet. Why
Not
this
yet.
is such a big deal in Virginia. Um, it's a sad case, but if you people here, they know the outcome. But when you're reading this story, even though you know how this is going to end, you are so hopeful for a better outcome than what we have. Like it
Oh.
keeps you zoned in. Now, I don't know how true it is, okay? So again, I encourage you all to read Under the Trestle. I have read it 3 or 4 different times. And every time I'm like, maybe this time the ending will be different, even though I know that the ending's not going to be different. Like, it puts you in the moment
No.
as they were doing this case. Um, there's a lot of talk about Virginia Tech football in this book because that played a huge role in this. There's a lot of talk about how if you knew the right people and you had money, you kind of got away with some things,
Oh,
which we learn happens
absolutely.
everywhere. Um, yeah, it's a really really good book. But I did see online, I think that they are taking Under the Trestle and turning it into a movie, which is based on a true story. It's based solely on
Ooh.
this case.
Okay.
It is, and you gotta read it. It's an incredible book. So just so people know, this is where a bunch of this information has came from. Now, you can Google Stephen Epperly if you want to. He's a dick. We're going to talk all about his dick behavior. You can look up Gina Hall, who we're about to talk about, and unfortunately, Gina Hall is our victim. And you'll pull some information about her. Her sister Delana has a website because she's very active in talking about, how this case has impacted her life, and how that summer of 1980 changed her life forever. And there's a lot of information out there. So I encourage people to dig into it because it's not talked about enough.
Read
So we're
it.
going to talk about it today. Yes, read it. Under the Trestle. It's
I wonder
incredible.
if there's an audio book. Okay. I hope there's people with me. I'm not a
I'm
reader.
sure that there is. I think you can get it on audio.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, I swear, we'll get to why I'm telling you
I
why
love
I feel like
books,
every time I
but
read it. Yes.
my eyes are really fucking bad. Like, really bad.
Yeah.
And so they get
No,
super tired
you can
reading.
listen
So,
to it. You can
okay.
listen to it. Most books now, if you go on Amazon, they have the audio version. So yeah. All right. So
Let's
before
go.
we even dive into Stephen Epperly,
Oh.
we're going to talk about Gina Hall.
Okay.
Okay. Because Gina is our real hero. Okay. He's the dickwad that, yeah. All right. So Gina was born August the 24th of 1961. Okay. Her father's name was John, and she was born to Elena. Now, this is not, I think it's talked about a little bit in Under the Trestle, but again, I told you where I live in a small town in Virginia. I know people that knew her family. So I
Like,
have engaged, yes, that met Gina.
well, I wish people, like, when she said small town, like, she's not lying.
I'm not kidding.
Like,
I'm not kidding. This is the South. Everybody knows everybody. You
well,
best believe that they're going to know about your marriage problems before you even called your mama and your daddy. Like, everybody knows everything. What was you going to say?
I was gonna say, so is this? I mean, even though you didn't really mention that far, but like, is it like where you grew up or where you're at now?
Oh, this is where I'm at now.
Okay, we
Well,
won't
okay, so let
disclose
me give you
those
guys. All right,
information, but
I live in Southwest Virginia. Okay, to us, like Ash, I know people have. Ash is like when you say up the road, it's 45 minutes.
oh
So
Lord,
this case takes place in Radford. Radford is
oh
like
okay,
20. Yeah,
okay,
Radford's 20 minutes away from where I'm at.
okay,
So granted, it might not be necessarily like in my county or in my town because this is such a small region. Radford, Pulaski, Blacksburg, all of that to us is very close to us. Now, she's actually from Coburn, Virginia. Now, Coburn is opposite of where I'm at. That's more towards like the Abingdon, Bristol region, but you kind of detour off and go down some country roads. It's like she was from the boondocks, okay?
okay.
Like middle of nowhere. But now, what I was going to say is people around here, okay, at my job, other folks, they knew her family. So I have heard, this is from hearsay, that her mother did have psychiatric issues.
Oh,
Okay.
she's
And
spilling the
so
tea.
yeah. So in Under the Trestle, they talk about a freak accident that happened to Gina when she was a child. She was placed on a hot stove and it scarred her leg. Like she had
Oh
severe
my
burns and she
God.
spent 6 months in a hospital on a burn unit and had to undergo surgeries and all this. Now, some people say that that's an accident. In the book Under the Trestle, it's referred to as an accident. However, throughout hearsay here in Southwest Virginia, people are like, well, her mother had psychiatric problems. We think that she did that. You get what I'm
Oh
saying? That
shit.
she did that
Yeah.
intentionally. I don't know, but I thought it's an important piece to kind of throw out there that that's possibly it because mom and dad ended up divorcing. Um, and mom really didn't pay any attention to the kids at all.
Mm.
She just kind of distanced herself. Um, but she had a stepmother, and the stepmother was very active in her life and very supportive, and so on and so forth.
Oh,
So
good.
just to throw that out there. But she did spend an extensive amount of time on a burn unit, and she would wear clothes that hid those scars because obviously, that really did some
Oh,
damage.
sure.
And I think that she's kind of insecure about it. I mean, I understand, I get it. So she would hide it.
Poor
Now,
babe.
I know, bless her heart. Now she loved dancing. She loved to dance. She loved music. She was the lead percussionist in her high school band.
Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
like it.
Yes, Gina is incredible. She graduated Coburn High School in 1979, and then she attended Emory and Henry College, which is where is Emory and Henry? Campus. I know we've passed it a million times when you have visited. And next time that you're here, I'll show you where it's at. Be like, hey, there's Emory and Henry. But it's kind of like a Christian private college. Their tuition is extremely overpriced. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I
Like,
mean,
yeah,
isn't every college?
yeah. Yes, yeah, they're
Yeah.
kind of overpriced. But yeah, she did go to Emory and Henry. Um and in the fall of 1979, she then transferred to Radford University because her sister Delana, who was 21 at the time, now Gina is only 18, Delana was attending Radford University. So they ended up rooming together because they were really close anyway, and going to school together. Okay. Now, during this time, they had just done midterms. Okay. They're going to go out and celebrate. Delana kind of has explained Gina to be kind of shy. She was very girly. She was really kind. People really enjoyed her presence. She just was an overall good person. So for her to go by herself somewhere speaks volume, okay? Because
Okay.
she didn't usually do that. So her and Delana had plans to go dancing that night. They were going to go to the Marriott. But
Oh,
remember, in
fancy.
the 80s, dancing was a big thing.
Dancing.
They were going to go to the club, they were going to go dance, they were going to have a good time. Apparently, Delana and her boyfriend had had a big old fight, big falling out. So Delana was really upset. She's crying. She's not in the mood. She's like, I'm going to sit this out. And Gina decides she's going to go anyway. She's going to go. She wants to go have a good time, and good for her.
She
Good
went
for
by
her. She's
herself.
going to go. Yeah, she's gonna go by herself
I would
and
never.
just go have a good time. Okay.
Mm-mm.
You, I don't know if I would or not in today's time, considering I study as much true crime as I do. However, I feel like my abductor would gladly return me to Nathan and be like, "Take it." Like,
Okay. Take your corrupted brain out of your head. Would you go dancing
would I
alone?
have went? I don't think I would have went.
Okay. I
I don't
wouldn't.
think I
It's
would have.
I
I like having my friends with me.
yeah, I'm super shy and I stick to what makes me comfortable and friends, that's most people. Like I need
Yeah.
to have a girlfriend there, but like I'm super shy. Sometimes like when meeting new people I come across, oh, she's bitchy, she didn't even talk to me. No, I'm really shy. You just have to talk to me and I'll
She
talk to me
really
and I'll
is.
talk to you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
She is shy. And then once you get her going, she'll talk to you.
I
Like
don't
she's an
shut up.
open
She's
book, but it
being
takes her a
nice. I
little bit.
don't shut up. But I
No.
am very open
Yeah.
once you get to know me. I don't, yeah. What you see is what you get.
Well, Gina went. She went dancing. Okay. She looked really pretty. Now, Delana had her car, so she was going to let Gina drive her car. Okay, that was the game plan. Like, she was going to
Okay.
take her car, come back to the apartment or dorm or whatever it was that they were living in, so on and so forth. So she left, but she came back because she had forgot something. And she had forgot her ankle bracelet. Her and Delana had matching ankle bracelets, and they had two little hearts that connected. Yes.
Okay.
And she got yes, she got her ankle bracelet. This is important, okay? And she looks at Delana, and because Delana's a hot mess. She's crying over the whole boyfriend thing, and she's like,
Lord.
sis, she's like, follow your heart, okay? Do whatever your heart's telling you to do.
Go out dancing
And that is
alone.
well, that's the last thing that Delana ever heard her sister say to her.
Oh.
Yes, she walked out and did not know that she would never see Gina ever again.
That makes me
Okay?
sad.
I know, it does make me sad because what ends up happening is Gina gets to the Marriott. There's a man behind her who's dressed really nice. And she turns around, and this is when she first encounters Stephen Epperly.
All right, Stephen.
Yeah, Steve.
So he's wearing a suit.
Anywho. Oh, Steve was like to dress nice.
Okay.
He was charming. Steve's a character, okay? So we're going to talk about him.
Does he have money?
He grew a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit, yeah.
So he's on the prowl.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. So Steve grew up with his older brother and two sisters. His father was retired from the Radford Arsenal. It's crazy. It's wild to be telling this story, Ash, because we talk about these places here all the time. Radford Arsenal is still active.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big place that people seek employment from. It's a state job. You know, a lot of people have worked
That's
at the
crazy.
Arsenal. I know people that work at the Arsenal. So to talk about it, it's just wild. But anywho.
The fact that I've been there, like, we ride through Radford all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, his mother apparently was super religious. Some of his friends had referred to Steve as like the perfect gentleman. He would pursue women, but he never had long-term relationships. You know, he dressed nice. He apparently had a quick temper, though, and an extremely short fuse. Some of his family, one of his brother-in-laws, talked about an instance at a Sunday family dinner, which is a big thing here in the South. Family gets together on Sundays. We do Sunday dinners. They're talking. They're having a good time. Everything's fine. Somebody says something to him that he doesn't like, and he instantly took the whole dinner table and flipped it.
Shit.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he has a short fuse.
Holy cow.
Very short fuse.
Not the food, man.
Yeah, he did. He knocked over all that good food. Yeah, he's now he actually ended up playing football for Virginia Tech. However, he quit before the season even started. I don't know why. I think that we learned very quick that Steve seems to think that his shit doesn't stink and that he's better than everybody and above everything. So I think that he went in thinking that he was the best football player and learned very quick that he ain't shit. Like,
no, because there's all the players on OSU, okay? Ohio State.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Stephen was actually charged for 2 different rape occasions in the 70s. Mm-hmm. However, he never got actually convicted of it. They went to court and they got thrown out because there wasn't enough evidence. But
gross.
His parents always seemed to get him really, really costly attorneys too. So that's why I'm like, I don't think that he had money as much as mommy and daddy had money, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So here we are in one of these situations where clearly he has issues, right? No means no, Steve. I get that you're not used to that, but no means no. And unfortunately, in that era, it wasn't uncommon that women's word wasn't taken as serious. They lacked evidence, so they threw it out of court, and he never was convicted of it.
Disgusting.
I know. Now, he graduated from Virginia Tech in 1978 with a degree in marketing. He got a job at a firm that did like financing for auto loans.
Oh.
Um, yeah. He did live in Richmond for a period of time, and then he just like abruptly moved back with his family in Radford. And he was kind of ashamed that he lived with his parents. He was only in his like early 20s. And which is funny to hear because in today's time it's not uncommon for people in their 20s to be living with their
Nope.
parents, especially if you're just getting real world experience, but apparently he didn't like that he was living with mommy and
Really, at
daddy.
any age, with the way the economy is right now, it's expensive. So
Yeah, what if
I don't think you have anything to be ashamed of, sir. But okay.
well, again, you're gonna learn really quick what a dick what he is. So, one friend seemed that I think that Stephen had some ambition on trying to get out of this small region. You've been here, you know. Like he acted like he was trapped, and there was a time that he wanted to be famous, which didn't happen. He is famous in our area, but not for what he was hoping he was to be famous for. So,
Well, get it how you
yeah,
get it, sir. Like,
yeah, yeah. Now, remember, I said he didn't really date women for a period of time. Like, I think he dated, but it didn't ever lead to anything serious, probably because he had such a short fuse and they were like, yeah,
oh, dude,
we
red
don't
flag.
like you. You're scary and we don't like that. Um, Now, on the night of June 28th, 1980, Steve had went out with one of his friends, Bill King, who's going to come back up again, because they had intentions of finding women. They solely went out with that whole mindset that we are going to find lady companions. Okay. So, yeah. Now, at 1 o'clock in the morning, Delena's phone rings. She answers. She's half asleep. So she's kind of like groggy and in and out. And she says hello. And she says, Delana, it's Gina. And she's like, where are you? And she said, I'm at the lake with Steve. Well, they didn't know a Steve.
Oh no.
Yeah, they didn't know a Steve. And she thought it was really weird. And she said she kind of sounded panicked in a sense. And then the phone went click.
Oh, I would have freaked out.
Yeah. Well, you got to think this is in the 80s. Okay. So caller ID
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a thing. She doesn't think anything of it because she's called and she's letting her know I'm at the lake. Um, with Steve, which is Claytor Lake in this area. That's all around through here. The New River, connects into Claytor Lake. Um, but that's it. So she gets up the next day to check. Gina's not home,
Oh
which
shit.
was really, really unusual for Gina. So she's concerned. She contacts some friends. She's waiting and waiting and waiting. Gina's not coming home. She contacts friends and she's like, I feel like something is wrong. I got this strange phone call from Gina. I don't know where she's at. So they go to search. Okay. So we're going to go back to it was a little before 7 o'clock that morning. This is on the 29th because she went out on the 28th. So she called early in the morning of the 29th at 1 a.m.
Okay.
So about a little before 7 a.m. on the 29th, there was a cop doing road patrol and he happens to see the car that Gina was in under a railroad trestle, which goes directly over the New River.
Mm.
He doesn't think anything of it because it wasn't anything uncommon for college kids that maybe had been drinking or something to kind of be hanging out on banks there. So he just kind of goes and does his thing, returns, comes back. He sees the car still there, and then he happens to notice that the trunk is popped open. So then they start doing some digging, and he realizes that this car actually belongs to a John Hall. Okay, so because he's checking the registration and stuff, which is Delena's dad.
Yeah.
Um, so they end up calling Delana. She comes down. She's giving a statement. They're looking at the car. They're noticing that there was trash in the vehicle, and Delana's like, "That's not Gina's. This car was clean." The seat, the driver's seat, is like pushed all the way back. Gina was only 5 foot tall. She's like my height.
Oh,
So
yeah.
she's an itty bitty little thing.
I am too.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, we are up on the steering wheel, you guys.
Yes.
There's no pushing it all the way back.
Stephen Epperly was 6 feet tall. So, yeah, yeah. So Delana's like, this is really bizarre. She said, I did get this strange phone call from my sister, at 1 o'clock this morning saying, that she was with a guy named Steve. This isn't like her. They also notice in the trunk that there's blood. So things are not pointing
No.
in a good direction, okay?
Yep.
However, Delana says in that moment she was extremely hopeful that maybe, just maybe, Gina got hurt. Maybe she's out there somewhere. She's being very optimistic. Now, again, this isn't in the 2000s and the 2025 like we're in now. Their means of communicating was either the news or the radio. That was it.
Yeah.
That's all. Like, they didn't have cell phones. They didn't have like a quick instant Amber Alert or anything. And she knew that she needed to get this out to the media. So she went to local radio stations and pled her case that please get on there and tell people that my sister is missing. This is what she was wearing. This is where she was going, so on and so forth. So after that comes out on the radio, Bill King makes a point to reach out to the police. And he says, my friend and me went to the Marriott. My friend Steve was dancing with this girl through, like, they danced about 4 or 5 times. He came and he asked me for the keys to my parents' house because his parents had a huge 3-story house right on Claytor Lake.
Oh.
He said, yes. So Steve came and asked for the keys. Bill gave him the keys. This was like at 12:30 that night. Remember, she called at 1 o'clock in the morning. She's like, I'm at the lake. I'm with Steve. She sounded a little panicked.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. Yeah. Now, so they leave. They go to the 3-story house. Bill says, okay, that him and his lady companion that he picked up, okay, they show up at that house at 4 o'clock in the morning. And him and his lady friend are kind of, I guess they're in the kitchen area. And they see Stephen come out of the utility room. He doesn't have a shirt on. And he's wiping his chest off. And they think perhaps maybe there was some intimacy. Okay, you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, we're going to go for a swim in the lake. And he says, well, we have to go. But they never saw Gina. They didn't see Gina anywhere. He just said, well, we got to go.
Leave. Okay.
And he said, yeah. So they go, out to the lake. He did say that he did step in some wet spots, so he had assumed that maybe they had went swimming because it's right out there on the lake, in the living room. He didn't think anything of it, and that was that. And he said, but Steve was the last person to be around Gina. We saw her. I saw her, but she was with him. She was with him on the dance floor, so on and so forth. Now, he also made a point before he had went to police, he made a point to drive to Stephen's workplace because he heard this and he knew immediately who that was. Oh. And he said, you need to call police. You need to go tell them what's up because they're going to be looking at us. And of course, Bill genuinely has nothing to do with this.
Oh, and he obviously doesn't know that something probably happened.
Right. And he said, Stephen asked him, well, who have you talked to about this? He didn't say, well, man, this is, I took her home, or, hey, I don't know what happened to her. We parted ways. He didn't say that. He said, who have you talked to about this? And he's talked about that. He spoke to some of his like weight club, like whatever that is, I guess like a gym work thing. I don't know. And he said, I need you to go back and tell them something different. Not, I didn't have
No.
anything to do with this. Not, I don't know what happened to her. He's like, I need you to go tell them something different. So then Bill immediately went to the police and told the police, this is all I know. So obviously, we're getting a lot of pointers that Steve has something to do, with this
So did Bill go back
missing
and change
person.
his story?
No,
Oh, okay.
no,
Good
Bill.
guy.
So
Good guy.
Bill had paid Steve a visit before he went to the police.
Okay.
And when he told him that, he's like, yeah, I'm going to go to the police because this is weird,
Yeah.
sir. Yeah. So,
Don't be suspicious. Don't be
yeah,
suspicious.
well, he's totally being suspicious, and you're going to
Yeah.
be like, holy shit balls as we get further along. So, the police immediately are like, well, we need to talk to this Steve dude. Like, we need to find Steve. So they get him to come to the police station. And Steve says that sure, he didn't deny that him and Gina had encounters. He didn't deny that they danced. He didn't deny taking her to the lake house. He's like, yeah, we went to the lake house. He's like, we made out a little bit. I tried to make some advancements. And she wasn't into that. So then we drove back to Radford, to my house, and then we parted ways, and that was the last I saw her.
So he didn't even try to run. That would be even more suspicious, but yeah.
Mm-mm.
All right.
No, he doesn't deny it, but I feel like he's leaving a big piece out of that somewhere. Okay.
Well, yeah. Where the fuck is she?
Yeah. Yeah. Where is she? Where is she? Because at some point during this, he may have very well. I don't doubt that maybe some interaction had happened. And I don't doubt that Gina probably told him no. But given it, remember what I said in the very beginning, Steve doesn't like the term no. And Steve likes to go for what Steve wants. And unfortunately, Steve had got away with a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So funny feeling that Steve thought he was going to get away with something again. And I think that things went a little bit further. And he's leaving a big chunk out of that story. You get what I'm putting down? Like,
Oh, poor
and I
Steve
think
got told no.
that, yeah, well, fuck you, Steve. So they're like me. They're like, Steve, that all sounds about right. Except, I think there's a piece that maybe you're blacking out. Maybe you're just not telling us. So we want you to take a polygraph.
Ooh.
And he did. He did.
Ballsy.
He did.
Wow.
And do
Wow.
you think he passed or do you
Oh,
think he
hell
failed?
no. No.
Oh, he totally failed. He bombed that. But the issue is, okay, the big piece is we're missing a crucial piece of evidence, right? We've got hearsay. We've got proof that you was with her. We don't have Gina.
Yeah.
We can't go further without her. Right? That's our big key to all this. So unfortunately, the police have to let Steve walk out. They don't have enough evidence
a polygraph can't hold up, right?
A polygraph is not submissible in court.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, not in Virginia. Yeah, so he fails it. Now, 3 days in, Gina's been gone. Okay? I think at this point, given what police are discovering, I think that they know we're not looking for Gina alive. We're looking for a body.
Aww.
Okay? And Delana was really, really still being hopeful. That's the sad part about all this.
Yeah.
So they go to the lake house. They get a search warrant. They go to the lake house. Remember how I told you that Bill, and his lady friend, they had got ready. They're going to go for a swim in the lake. They had stepped in a puddle.
Yeah.
And they thought, that was blood.
And they didn't notice? Wouldn't it have gotten on their shoes?
The lights was off. The lights were off. It was dark. It's like 4:00 in the morning.
Oh,
in this.
fuck.
Yeah, so and honestly, think about it. If you were out with friends and you had been partying and you know, you probably have had a few drinks. They were probably a little bit inebriated, right? You're at the lake. If you step in something wet, I probably would immediately go to that too. That, oh, somebody was swimming, they came in, and it was like shag carpet. So when they were looking, they could tell this was a really big puddle of blood. And they're thinking, it looks like it was attempted to be cleaned up.
Mm.
It looked like it had really been rubbed in. So it was like a way deeper red than if it would have been left alone,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. Yeah. They also happened to find minor blood splatters throughout the house. Like there was some on a light switch in the bathroom, so it was kind of like a sloppy cleanup job, okay? Yeah, it wasn't very good. Steve's an idiot.
He's not a professional killer.
He's not. He's
Okay.
not. He's not at all. He's not very wise with how he does
I
things.
mean,
Okay.
obviously, he left all that there.
Yeah,
Jesus
he left
Christ.
all that there. So they're still searching the house.
I'm so
Apparently,
sorry.
there's steps that go down to the den area, I guess. And when they're going down there, they happen to notice at the end of the stairs a broken ankle bracelet that had two hearts.
No.
So that belonged to Gina.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
know that. Yeah.
we're digging a grave here. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So there's, again, we still don't have her though. Okay. At all we have is this. We've got the ankle bracelet. We know there was blood in the car. We know that there was blood, obviously, in the lake house.
Do
And
we
it
know
was a
whose
sloppy ass
blood?
cleanup job.
I mean, we know whose blood, but did they know
Right.
whose blood at the time?
I think that I don't know that they actually did DNA testing at
Okay.
that point for it, but we're going to get to that because
Okay.
they're searching the property at this point.
Mm.
Uh, they're looking around. They have police tape because it's right on the lake. So their instinct is she's in the lake.
I would
Where
think
else
that.
would you put it?
Yeah.
Right? Where else would you put the body? So they get divers to search the lake. Gina's body was not found.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Nowhere in that lake. Yeah. Nowhere in that lake. They did extensive searches throughout the New River. There was nothing found. Okay. They did, however, around very close to where they found the car, they ended up finding a blue towel that was kind of like up in some brush, in a sense, I guess you could say, that had some blood on it. And it also had fibers that came back and came back and matched the fibers to the shag carpet that the blood was at.
Oh, okay.
Yes. We then find Gina's clothes. We still have not found her, okay? But we find her clothes. And she had wore like this white jean material jacket, and there was a whole side of that was like covered in blood. And in that blood on that jacket was a hair follicle that came back and matched Stephen Epperly.
Ooh. Okay.
Yes, yes.
I knew it.
But we still do not have her body.
Yeah.
That's a crucial piece. Like
Now, did they find her clothes near the car or near the house?
it was her car. Excuse me. Her clothes were very close to where the car was found
Okay.
at.
Okay.
If that, yeah. So, but again, the big piece of this is we do not have a body. At this point, we have a smoking gun, right? We don't have a body. At this time, there had never been a conviction in the state of Virginia for murder without a body.
Ooh.
So this is ballsy, right?
Yeah.
This is like, and the Commonwealth and a lot of people were like, we're not going to be able to get this because
It won't hold up. Yeah.
it won't, we don't have a body. Who's to say that maybe she's not naked and kidnapped and being held hostage somewhere? We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But well, we do know. We know she's not alive. There's just too much to show that she's not alive.
Yeah.
We know that. But what the hell did he do with her? That's the big piece.
Yeah.
And this became such a big media thing. They brought dogs in to search, to try to trace her. There was psychic mediums. The police actually sought the guidance of psychic mediums, and her body was not found. They looked everywhere, okay? Now, don't worry, this is going to come back up. Because, meanwhile, while they're looking, Steve goes and knocks on one of his friend's doors. And this is what he says. He says, can someone be convicted for murder if they can't find a body? Oh, Steve's ballsy. That's what I'm telling you. Like, Steve is a 100% clinically diagnosed narcissist. He is a sociopath through and through.
Oh, facts. Yeah.
And he is determined. He doesn't ever deny that he killed her. He doesn't ever deny it. He says he's innocent now, but
but in the moment he didn't. I mean, he didn't say he did it, but
it was always, they don't have a body.
Jesus Christ.
They don't have a body. But that's the truth.
Yeah.
So the Commonwealth and the investigators on this case really went back and forth, because it's one of those, like, they know. They're like, he did this. And we know historically he has a history that he never was held accountable for. But you know what? The Commonwealth went after it, and they're like, fuck it, we're going to try it.
Yes. Okay.
And yes, so they ended up arresting him, okay? And of course I swear to God, he is such a dick. He literally is like, you're not going to win. You don't have a body. Not, I didn't do this. I'm innocent, or, he could have came up with so much
more.
What
a cocky asshole.
You don't have a body.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You don't have a body. So he was arrested in 1980. In December of 1980, they go to court. Delana had to testify. This was the first time that she had ever physically seen what Stephen Epperly looked like.
Wow.
And she, could you imagine knowing that your sister called you? And she said, I sat in that courtroom and I had so much guilt, because if I would have went with my sister that night and not been crying over my boyfriend,
yeah,
this could have been nipped in the bud. But we don't know that. He could have took both of them. I mean, we don't know. It's sad altogether. So they go back and forth, and of course his argument is still, you don't have a body. Not, I didn't do this.
It's the only leg he has to stand on.
It's not literally the only thing he has to stand on. However, this jury found him guilty of murder, and he was given a life sentence, okay? Now, I just want to throw this out there. This is 40 years old, and people still talk about this. And to this day, Gina's remains have never been found.
Holy shit, stop.
And every time this bastard goes before the parole board here in Virginia, they ask him, are you going to tell us what you did with her? And he says no. They had to they had to put a casket in the ground with nothing in it.
It's heartbreaking.
And Delana has still, to this day, never gave up trying to find where Gina was at. Now, in 2013, like, this still is talked about in this area. In 2013, this detective, his name's Andy, I can't remember his last name, forgive me, but he took on this case, because it's still considered a cold case, even though we know Stephen Epperly killed this girl. We know it without a doubt. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. It's considered a cold case because we've never found Gina. So he's like, no one's looking for her. We need, we need to still be looking. So he's looking. He gets a call from this guy who claims to be a medium. And he says, I have been talking with Gina, and I know where she's at. And at this point, he's like, come, let's do this. And you got to think, I live in the Bible Belt of America. Okay. This is how determined they are to find her. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm willing to accept anything. Stephen had a job at Radford University's campus. Like, he did something there. I don't know what he did. At the time, in 1980, when was going on, they were doing construction work. This medium, who had never been to this area, described what that day looked like to a T. They have photographic evidence that he, and no, not something he accessed online, he explained what that looked like to a T. He said, she's there. So they felt like, at this time, like he pointed to the area, he's like, she's here. She's in this ground. And he's like, all right, we're going to dig it up. And he did. And they thought that they had hit something what resembled a small female. And then there was nothing there.
Ugh.
I know. I know. And to this day, again, she has never been located. But it's not something that's not talked about here. And they did put a bench up at the old St. Albans Sanitarium, the mental one of the older mental facilities here,
Yeah.
in loving memory of Gina.
Mm.
I know. So that is the story of the disappearance of Gina Hall and Stephen Epperly, who just filed for parole back in April of last year, and of course was denied.
Give it up, man.
Andy did go and pay him a visit in prison. This detective that's still actively looking for her. And he said, I don't want you to tell me anything that happened that night. He said, at this point, it doesn't matter. I just want you to tell me where she's at.
Mm.
Like, tell me where
Yeah.
she's at. And his response, he said, I'm innocent.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
He said, I'm innocent. I had nothing to do with any of that.
Jesus Christ. Aren't they all?
Yes, he will not. He will not tell them. Like, and it's like, at this point,
Yeah.
you're gonna die in prison.
Yeah. So
He just does it to maintain
give
that
the
control.
family some freaking peace. Like, that's sickening. You're a true monster.
He really is a true
Yeah.
monster. Like, and Andy says it himself. He said if he was released today, if you look at his picture, which I think is the picture up is his most recent mugshot, and he's an old man now.
Yeah.
Don't let that age fool you. He would absolutely leave prison doors and kill somebody again before the sunset and not have any ounce of remorse for it.
It just, I mean, I mean, you sit there and everybody glorifies Ted Bundy. And I mean, I'll give the man, he at least gave those family peace and gave up where he hid all the bodies. Come on, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
You
you're
look at the
caught.
Green
It's over.
River Killer. You look at Jeffrey Dahmer. You look at all these others. Eileen Mormos.
Yep.
I'm sorry. They make, like,
I
he
think
makes
that's
them look like
the
a saint.
worst. Yeah, that is the worst thing you could do is literally after you're caught, you just hold that in. Because I will say this reminded me a lot of there actually was something that shook this area when I was really young, and it's still on the news. We still talk about it, but her name is Erica Baker. And I want to say she was 9. And I can't remember how old I was when this happened, but I remember it vividly. She lived in Kettering, which is another suburb of Dayton on the other side of Vandalia. And, well, like,
Right.
there's Vandalia, Dayton, and then kind of Kettering circles around Dayton. And she was out playing, walking. I don't know if she was walking a dog. It's been so long. But she was out, and to our knowledge, she got kidnapped. And the 2 people that kidnapped her got caught. We have still to this day never found her. She's 9 years old at the time.
They do that for a sense of control.
Well, one of them died.
You know.
One of them died, so there's one left that knows. Only 2 of them knew, and one is gone.
Well, there's lots of theories with Epperly. Like,
Her
people
parents
have
still
all
look for
kinds of
her.
theories and stuff. But obviously, like, prosecutors' argument, because we really don't know what happened that night. I think, I lean with what the prosecutors have said, is that Gina went willingly. We don't doubt that. Back to the lake house with the
Yeah.
impression that he's a nice guy. And he did come off nice. And I'm sure he was a lovely dancer. I don't doubt that one bit. And she goes back. They may have kissed and made out a little bit. But I do
I'm
believe that
sure.
Gina probably refused his advances and he lost his shit and he beat her to death. That's the theory.
I feel like that is
Um,
too, because honestly, I what why would she go with him if she wasn't intrigued a little bit?
right,
Yeah.
right. But she also was insecure about her scars and stuff. So I don't doubt that she did refuse his advances.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't doubt that at all. But there's lots of theories about like her remains. I don't think she's in the lake. I don't think
No.
that no, because she would
Okay.
have washed up. I don't think that she's anywhere in New River at all. Now, fun fact about the New River. The New River is the only river in the world other than the Nile that flows north. All other rivers flow south.
Cool fact. Okay.
Yes, then that's in my neck of the woods.
And so
But
you don't think
I don't
she's
think
in the
she's in
lake,
there.
but it's moving water.
But I don't because she would have washed up even if she was
Somewhere.
put in the river. She would have something at this point would have washed up,
And,
and she has
and if it was
never.
moving water, it would have
I
washed up somewhere.
He put her somewhere that he to this day knows no one will ever find her.
This is
And that's
insane.
what's disgusting about it. Because he was very confident, this friend, if you got to read that book or listen to it, Ash, it's wild. And that's what I was saying. Even though I know the outcome, that Gina's never been found. And when you read this book, you're in the case in the real time. This is the Cliff Notes version because this is an episode that we could cover for days and days and days.
Did they have search
talk about
parties?
this. They did.
Okay.
There were search parties. They had the psychic medium that came in the 80s. He was really well known and had helped found numerous people. They talk about the dogs that they brought in and how well trained and how many murders that some of these dogs had helped solve.
Yeah.
It's all in this book, and you're reading it in real time, and you feel like you're right there helping them. And you think, I swear, every time you read it, you're like, "This is it. This is where we're gonna find her." And you don't ever find Gina. And fucking Epperly knows this. So if you guys want to write Stephen Epperly and just make harass him through and through, that's fine. That's fine. Do it. He needs that, and until he takes
needs
his
something
last
to
breath.
do.
He needs something to do.
Yeah.
He needs something to do. I hope he stumps his toe every morning he gets up to go do whatever. I hope that he chokes on his scrambled eggs because they're so dry and terrible and they have no flavor. And I hope that he gets like super dry, itchy eyes every day and they don't give him eye drops. Like,
Oh my
I want
God.
your prison sentence to be as miserable as you have made her family.
It's
because
sickening.
her parents are deceased now. They're both dead. They died not knowing where their daughter's remains
That's
are.
disgusting.
It is
That
disgusting.
makes me so mad.
But you're famous, Steve Epperly. You're famous for being the first guy ever in the state of Virginia to be convicted without a body, and I hope you're proud of that.
Oh, but it wasn't going to happen because they didn't have a body, right?
Yeah, he was like, they can't do anything to me. And they talk about that in the book, how cocky
You're
he was.
untouchable.
Oh, I almost forgot the best part, Ash.
Ooh.
It is believed, it has not been proven though, and I can't remember the name of this girl. Okay. But there was a period of time during this investigation that old Epperly fled to Ohio.
Yeah?
There's a woman that went missing in Ohio.
Was her name Erica Baker?
No, it wasn't Erica Baker.
I'm sorry, that's not funny.
Yeah, but no. But they've never proven that Stephen may have something to do with that. But it's very well possible he could have. I can't remember the lady's name. You got to read
Oh,
Under the Trestle.
I wish
But
you
the
knew.
fact that we're related,
Virginia and Ohio. That's so weird.
yes,
I wish you knew
yeah,
her
he's.
name.
I wish I could remember. It's
I want to see
in
where she's
Under the
from.
Trestle. Yeah, it's believed that he may have had because while he was there for a period of time, trying to flee from all this,
Yeah.
because he's a little bitch. He he came back. Obviously, he had to, but yeah, there's this girl goes missing in that same area that he was in. You can't tell me that that's just a coincidence.
No. No, not at all.
Yes.
Not at all.
So, do you have questions for the girls?
Yes. Where's
I
the
do
body?
too.
No, I'm just
Where's
kidding.
the body? I know. This is the day that the girls they solve it. They solve
Listen,
this cold
I,
case.
I, all these mediums and the girls solve it.
All these media. That's right. The girls solve it.
Yep.
They do. All right. You ready?
Yes.
Can you hear it?
No. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You can. Okay. All right. Girls.
What?
What? I
What?
love it. They're like,
That
what?
was so clear.
What?
That they
Can
have
we
an
ask you
attitude.
questions? They do. Can we ask you questions about Gina Hall? Sure. And then I heard at peace. Did you hear that?
I didn't. I heard something that sounded like it. Oh, dead. Did they just
You
say
dead?
dead?
Yeah, Gina. Did you say Gina's dead? Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Did
Where's her body? Oh, I'm like,
you
I'm
went
going
right
straight
to
it.
it?
Where's the body? Don't know. Did you hear that?
No.
They said don't know.
Okay.
Even the dead don't know. He really did put it somewhere that it
Man.
would never be found.
Did she go with him willingly to the to the lake
Yeah.
house?
Did she go with him willingly to the lake house? I'm pretty certain. Did she go willingly to the lake house? Yes.
Was Jody's theory correct in her telling him no on certain advances and him getting mad?
Yeah, is the theory correct that he got mad about being told no for several advances? What? Did she tell him no to sexual advances? I heard you're not listening.
I heard it was distorted. It was hard to. Funny thing is, they're not listening to our question.
Yeah. What?
You're not
Did she
listening.
tell him no on several occasions? Yes, that was clear. They're like, yes.
Is
Awesome.
she in water?
Yes. Is her remains submerged in water? I heard yes, but then I swear part of that we'll have to play it back. They're never going to find anything. I swear that's what it sounded like. Do you think Stephen Epperly will ever tell us what he did? No.
I don't think so either.
I don't think he ever will.
Do people still look for her?
Oh yeah, people still actively look. The search hasn't stopped.
Mm.
Been there. Did you hear that? Been there. Somebody was like, I'm in there.
What is
Is Gina at peace? She ran. Did you hear that?
I'm
She
sure
probably did try to run.
He probably did try to attack her, and she probably tried to run, and he continued. bet you. That's a big pile of blood. But um oh, I was gonna ask a question. Oh, is her body in one piece?
Is her body in one piece? No.
I mean,
He probably scattered her
I was gonna say to
everywhere.
keep it this hidden, I can't imagine that it's in one piece.
I wonder if he put quicklime on her. Yeah.
Pigs.
You know what? I never. Do you think she was fed to pigs?
You guys are out in the middle of a farming area.
I heard yes.
And then I just heard pig. I swear.
He fed her to pigs.
This can't be right. Don't. This doesn't mean it's what happened, guys. So
Yeah, that doesn't mean that's what happened, but
yeah.
did
Well,
he quicklime her?
I don't think he's that smart.
I don't think he is either. They're like, no, he's
Um,
not. They agreed he's not that smart.
I mean, because then you would have had to go get it. Who has that on the ready? I mean, and out there in Virginia, like
Yeah,
you're
Epperly
in
would
rural
like.
Virginia. Like there's
Yeah,
farms everywhere. But the thing is with pigs, they eat everything except for teeth. And at that point, there still should be evidence. So I don't know about that. But that's a theory.
that is a theory. Do
Mm-hmm.
you think we'll ever find Gina's remains? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. It's heartbreaking.
That's sad.
Yeah. What a piece of shit. What a piece of shit. Just tell us where she fucking is.
I know.
Jeez. I
know,
mean,
and then he
maybe
did.
his last breath.
Thank you, ladies.
He'll just tell us. Thank you, ladies.
No, I don't think that he will ever come forward and tell what he did. I think that he will take that 6 feet down into the deepest depths of hell that he could possibly find.
And he'll be in the
I
line to
really,
get
truly do.
pineapples up his ass every day.
He probably will.
Oh,
Yes.
I hate it for her family. I hate it for her sister. I couldn't imagine.
Hmm.
I'm super close with my sister. I could not imagine not knowing where she
I know.
is. I
I
couldn't.
know. It's a very, very well talked about case here.
Yeah.
And now everyone has to read Under the Trestle. And
Read it,
then
listen to it.
if it does come out in theaters, you all can be like, Doll Talk and Ashley talked about that. And that happened in Doll Talk's region. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
All right, Ash.
You got to go find her body, guys. That's what you have to do. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes. Everybody now search party.
Hey.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
No, you have to go find us on most social media platforms. Give us a like and follow. If you like to listen, find us on Spotify. If you like to watch and listen, we're on YouTube.
All right. Thanks, doll babies.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.